Attention, dear listeners. It's Libra here. Spoiler warning for Marvel's Thunderbolts. We're diving into classified missions, broken alliances, and the dark side of hero work. If you haven't seen the film yet and want to experience every twist firsthand, now's your chance to walk away. Because with this crew, secrets don't stay buried for long.
Welcome to the League of Melanated Gentlemen podcast. My name is Spencer and I'm one of your hosts on this podcast. And today I'm joined by the other members of the League of Melanated Gentlemen to give you another review.
Yes, sir. This is Brandon.
And of course, I am Jordan.
Now, before we get to reviewing anything, we must first tell you about the places where you can find us, reach us, contact us, and tell us how you feel about all of the things, any of the things. Jordan has all of that information for you right now.
Yeah, we're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and we're all at the League of Melanated Gentlemen. That's where you can find us at. Talk to us, let us know what you think about the movie. And then don't forget, I'm sure you listen to us on a Monday. But if you're not, be sure and listen to us, any other day or any other episodes you see. And then bi-weekly, we have LMG Presents Marvel Multiverse RPG. That is a Marvel role-playing game that we play here on the channel. It's if you like D&D, this is a Marvel version of that. And of course, on Wednesdays, we have Wrestling with Worldwide Willis. That is Brandon's wrestling podcast where he's talking through all the things of professional wrestling. And then, of course, bi-weekly as well, we have DC Animation with Spenser and Friends. That is Spencer's review podcast where he's going through the entirety of the DC animated universe. Spencer, what movie's up next?
This week we will be reviewing Injustice.
There you have it.
It's a good one.
So yeah, and then don't forget to rate and review us on any of the streaming services that you use. So, and that's all we got.
Okay. A lot of things that we have, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, the AI that we have, our wonderful Libra, has already told you that there will be spoilers ahead if you have not seen the newest MCU hotness, Thunderbolts, asterisk. So, what we're going to do now, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to read a synopsis in my own words, and then we're going to just have a discussion. See how we feel, all of the normal things we do in a review. So, we open with Yelena's inner monologue. She is doing a job for Valentina Allegra de Fontaine to destroy a laboratory tied to the Sentry Project. Valentina is in the midst of an impeachment trial due to her dealings, but when Congress looks into those dealings, they find nothing. Yelena goes to visit Red Guardian and tells him that she doesn't want to work for Valentina anymore, but he's trying to, get in with a little referral because his life has no action and he hates what he's going through right now. Bucky gives his information to Mel, Valentina's assistant, in efforts to find dirt on her, and Valentina sends Yelena on what is supposed to be one last mission. Turns out this mission ends up being a fatal four-way between all of Valentina's loose ends. Taskmaster gets a hot one between the eyes, and before the other three kill each other, Bob shows up confused. They work together to stop themselves from getting incinerated, and Valentina sends everyone to take care of it upon learning that they survived and Bob is alive too. Bob uses himself as bait to, let everyone else get away. They light his ass up, and the bullets are ineffective. He flies up into the air, passes out, and then falls back to Earth, which again allows everybody to escape, and Valentina to capture Bob. Red Guardian picks up Yelena, Ghost, and JV Cap, and the team get their name, the Thunderbolts. They are found by Valentina's people, and Bucky comes in clutch to deal with them, but ends up capturing everybody and plans to use them to testify against Valentina. They tell Bucky about the Bob situation, and whenever that gets confirmed by Mel, he decides that everybody needs to do a team up to take care of the situation. Valentina bought Avengers Tower, dubbing it the Watchtower, and there she tells Bob that the Thunderbolts are bad people, and she starts molding him to her will. The Thunderbolts arrive, and they get dog walked by Bob, who is now going by Sentry. The Thunderbolts make a tactical retreat and briefly part ways. Yelena and Red Guardian have a father-daughter moment, and Sentry decides that he is a god and he's not taking orders from Valentina. Luckily for her, Mel.
Oh no.
Oh no. I have to run that back, sir.
Run what back?
Yep, there you go. You're back.
Wherever you were, let's talk about Mel.
God damn it. Did we lose me?
Yep, we lost you, but you're back. You're back.
I didn't. Okay. That's fine. Where was I? What did you hear?
Brought up Mel.
Yeah.
First time you brought up
Okay.
Mel.
Oh, the first time I brought up Mel.
Well,
Just recently when you brought up Mel. I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
They got dog walked and then.
Okay. Yes, they got dog walked. The Thunderbolts. Okay. So Sentry decides, I'm a god. I'm not taking orders from Valentina. And he's about to kill her. But luckily for her, Mel hits the kill switch, which knocks Sentry out. Unluckily for everyone in New York, this unlocks the void, and he starts sending people to the Shadow Realm. After saving some people, Yelena goes into the Shadow Realm and relives some of her worst days. She is able to find Bob, who is hiding from his own worst days. The other Thunderbolts go into the Shadow Realm, and they're all reunited. They locate the Void, and he and Bob fight. Before Bob is fully corrupted by the Void, the Thunderbolts use the power of friendship to save him and pull New York out of the Shadow Realm. Bob doesn't fully remember what happened, but the Thunderbolts find Valentina, and they're about to put their hands on her. But they find themselves in front of the media, where Valentina dubs them the new Avengers. They decide to go with it, but Valentina answers to them now. After some credits, the Red Guardian finally realizes his dream of being on a Wheaties box. And after some more credits, a little over a year later, Captain Falcon is pissed about them calling themselves the Avengers, and they discover a ship with a 4 on it out in space. And that's the movie. I'm so sorry I cut out. It did not tell me that I cut out. So so sorry.
We'll let you know.
It happens.
Technical difficulties. That's just, how the internet works or whatever. But Brandon, what are our initial thoughts on the movie? Actually, I lied. We're not going to do that yet. First, before we talk about the movie, there are a couple people that we have not seen, a couple of things that we might need a little bit of a teaching moment for. So, firstly, who even are the Thunderbolts in the comic book?
Yeah. So, the Thunderbolts. Everybody's seen hopefully people seen the
So it's not just me. Cool. Okay. It's not just me. No, that's good. That's fine. We lost him.
We'll go ahead and go to Sentry.
Yeah. Hopefully Jordan will be back.
That's crazy. I could literally still hear y'all. That's crazy. What's going on today?
I don't know.
I have no idea. Jordan, go ahead.
Yeah, so like I was saying before, I was interrupted by the internet, but the Thunderbolts are essentially Marvel's, Suicide Squad, where they take a villains group of anti-heroes as well, and they are tasked with, saving the world or, what have you here. So first created in 1996 by Kurt Busiek and Mark Bagley, two, super well-known comic book creators. But over the years, the team has always been kind of shifting in and out of different members. Originally, Baron Zemo was the one who brought the group together. They kind of, fought and took down, the Avengers and all them. They also went by the Masters of Evil at one point. But The team that probably is there's two teams I think are the most famous two teams. The first one you guys actually know about because you guys played through Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, and it is the team of Penance, Venom, Bullseye. Can't think of the girl in the pink. She had those wings. I can't think of her name. But you essentially play all those characters in Marvel Ultimate Alliance. So they were the ones who broke out of the raft or whatever it was, and they became that group. But then I think the more modern and the one that people really love the most is actually from a comic called Thunderbolts Red, and that features Red Hulk, Thaddeus Ross, Elektra, Daredevil. I'm not Daredevil, sorry, Deadpool, Punisher, and Agent Venom. So that's the more famous one. And I mean, like I said, the group, goes in and out. Norman Osborn also controlled his Dark Avengers, which also
Mhm.
eventually became the Thunderbolts. That's also another really famous team that happened after Civil War, I believe. That one happened. So yeah, it's just a group of supervillains slash anti-heroes who come together, for a particular reason, just like we saw in the movie.
Okay. Okay. So like the Suicide Squad, it's a group where like it members go in and out. It's kind of just a ragtag, whoever's available at the
Right.
time,
Yep. And Sentry,
or
Sentry
rather, whoever's
also,
locked up.
yep, and Sentry has also been a part of the team, just like in the movie. He's part of that Dark Avengers group.
Okay. Okay. And speaking of Sentry, this is our first time seeing him in the MCU, and I think it's a lot of people's first time seeing him, period. So can we talk about Sentry a little bit?
Let's talk about Bob. All right, we got Robert Reynolds. Uh, Now I like to go over I like to give people a little framework as far as like the physical attributes and like how big these people are. Right. So I'm going strictly off Marvels.com. Right. So we're going Sentry or Bob is 6 feet tall, not the tallest guy in the world, but obviously with his powers, he seems a little bigger. 194 pounds. Now the Sentry first showed up in 2000, was Sentry number one. I thought he was an older character, to be honest. I always remembered Sentry, but I think due to his popularity early in the 2000s, you kind of felt like he was been around a little bit. Because as soon as he came out, people really loved him due to his powers, his dark side, as we'll talk about. He gained a lot of notoriety, and he was thrown in some like Jordan talked about. He's thrown into a lot of big time groups, so he got a lot of exposure. But yeah, powered by an enigmatic. Okay,
Golly.
my bad. I'm feeling like Jordan right now.
Bob was out of strokes trying to read
Uh,
that word.
Enigmatic professor's secret formula. High school student Robert Reynolds becomes a superhuman after trouncing a school bully who had tormented him over years. Reynolds sews together a costume and makes his debut as a historic Sentry. But his darker aspects of his superhero life is what really makes it a bigger impact. And so let's talk about the Void. Void was obviously the character we'll talk about later on, but was the dark character. The Sentry battles many foes, but none as powerful as his arch nemesis and darker half, the Void, a persona who dedicates his life to killing as many people as possible, as Sentry rescues. For a long time, the two do not realize they're aspects of the same person, and Sentry goes to to defeat the Void, even altering his memories so that the world is safer. So a lot of times, from what I've seen in my experience, I read a comic with Null, right? And Null, the sentient god, he was tearing everybody up, right? He was whooping everybody's ass, all the Avengers. And then they're like last final plan, because they knew how dangerous it was to ask Sentry to get involved. And he did, get mopped, but the Void came around, and you know what I mean? They knew the risk they were taking. So that's the type of character Sentry is. Like, sure, you want to add him to your team due to the fact that he's really powerful and he's helpful. And overall, like in the movie, Bob is a pretty cool guy. But you have that darker side, so you're taking a risk anytime you bring Sentry in your squad. But yeah, that is Bob Reynolds.
I'm saying definitely Century is like the last call. They're like, all right,
Yeah,
we're running out of option.
right.
Let's call Century.
Yeah.
Um, I would say one of his most notable moments is ripping Ares, the god of war,
Hmm.
ripping him in half.
Yeah. Yep.
And also, if people know, like, he is another Superman clone. So, I mean,
Yeah,
Superman is
yes.
the original, like, Justice, big bad. I mean, not big bad, but like big guy, like no one can defeat. He is another Superman clone, essentially. But also with a twist. Like you said, got the two halves.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So I feel like I remember reading a comic, and I feel like it was dealing with the Fantastic Four, but I feel like they kind of like to demonstrate how like large scale Sentry is, I feel like they kind of not necessarily retcon stuff, but like they used Sentry to explain stuff that happened in the past. It was kind of like even though he was a character that was only created in
Yeah,
like
you're
the
right.
2000s,
That's
like
true.
they used him to say, no, he's been here all along.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I know
His
exactly what
memory.
you're talking about. So yeah, basically what happened was that Century they retconned it to where he's always been around, but everyone's memories got wiped.
Yep.
I cannot remember what comic that was.
I
I
do
can't
remember
either.
that now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I remember the comic, but yeah, I don't remember which one it was.
Yep.
But
That is 100% true.
okay.
Uh,
So Sentry's, yeah, like he's a big deal. Like he can get a lot done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, he was wearing them out.
And so we know that he's a Superman clone, but I would argue that he's the most different in that he's got other stuff going on because, most Superman clones are just like Hyperion. Like they fly, super strength, and maybe laser eyes, but they just have like a pretty standard superhero package. But Sentry having the void makes him a little different, and with the memory wiping as well. Do we know what non-Superman powers Sentry comes with?
I think he
Yeah,
can.
I'm looking
I think he can
through.
teleport. I think he
Yeah.
also. I mean, his packages. He basically has power of 1,000 exploding suns, which they also said in the movie. You got pyrokinesis. Uh, you know, a lot of. I mean, a lot of the basic package as well. Like as far as like being super strong, super fast. The one thing which I don't, he might have this power, but when he would touch people in the movie, that I feel like that's new. I don't know if he can do that in the comics.
Well,
I like to see their deep down inside.
I think that was them visually letting us know about the void. I think is what that
Yeah.
was.
It felt like more of a void type of power than a, but I agree though, Jordan. Like it wasn't a natural Bob power. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't
Uh,
know, like, is he telepathic?
I don't think so. It doesn't look like it. And I
Because
mean,
he has telekinesis. It
yeah,
looked like because he was pulling and pushing stuff. Um, Pyrokinesis. I like he had a glass of water that he exploded.
yeah, yeah.
Like
It's
he
odd
can kind of
because
just do whatever.
right, because it's like he got the super soldier serum, but also yeah, got the updated package. Felt like you
Yeah,
know what I mean with
yeah.
some
Whatever he
projection.
got, it got some extra shit
Yeah,
in it.
yeah. If Cap was still around, Cap be like, damn, but why I couldn't get you know what I
Yeah.
mean this elite level package because like
I mean, that's the
that's
thing. Caps is from the '40s,
yeah,
and
that's
it's
true.
it's
They had a lot of time to work on that.
That's
yeah.
true.
Like also, does anybody know what year we're in? Because the MCU got weird with like what year it is,
Yeah,
and so I never know what year it is. Like
I
I
feel like
think
it's
we
at
are
least 2028.
okay because
I,
I feel like we're getting to the point where we're now ish, but I know we were in the future.
yeah. I feel like I want to say we're at least 3 to 4 years ahead.
That's what I said. I think it might be 2028.
Yeah, yeah. I want to say, yeah, I think that's right.
Okay, that's not terrible, but
Yeah, so it's not too far off, but I feel like even because I remember in Infinity War and even in game, like they were a couple years ahead.
Because they did that 5 year
mhm.
Yeah,
gap that
right.
expand. Yeah.
So then yeah, I think what Endgame came out in 2019, so it was 2024
Yeah,
then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, uh, time is weird,
Right.
and it's fine.
Right.
So, with that, Brandon, thoughts out the door on the movie.
Thoughts out the door, man. I really enjoyed this movie. Like I had a really good time. I thought for a movie that had to depend a lot on comedy, they did a pretty good job. Like MCU, as we know as of late, writing hasn't been the best for characters, especially comedic based characters. But like Ray Guardian, his writing was amazing. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of these people, the writing was really good from a comedic standpoint. And I thought it was so smart to use the Sentry slash Void to give us a backstory, to give us like to really dig deeper into some people. You know what I mean? Like U.S. Agent really digging into his stuff and other people. You know what I mean? And like I thought overall the movie really worked. Like it flowed, had a good pace. I really enjoyed the Thunderbolts team. We could talk about the Black Widow. I mean, is she the GOAT, Black Widow? I don't know, but
Talk about it.
yeah, we'll talk about it. But she was amazing. We'll talk about Taskmaster. Sure.
We will.
Yeah,
We
we'll
will.
talk about that. But overall, I had a great time. Like it felt like a back in the day type of MCU watch. You know what I mean? Not the greatest movie to ever be made, but it felt like, oh, okay, I'm actually watching MCU quality movie. Whereas the past couple, there's been some solid ones. Past couple haven't felt that way. So I really enjoyed it.
I agree. I think that this took me back to the old days of the MCU,
Yeah.
where we have well-written comedy,
Mm-hmm.
where we have characters who you care about, characters with a little bit of depth, and we have ties to other things happening. Like
Right.
one of the things that the MCU kind of got away from, it felt like at one point, was tying stuff that's going on or like tying events within the MCU into the movie.
Yeah.
They reference the stuff that's happened recently, they reference the stuff that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Because Red Hulk being the president and all
Yeah, that
that,
was
like,
great.
yeah, that comes like, so they really, like, this felt like a proper MCU movie in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I feel like this movie, like, the MCU definitely has a formula,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like this movie did a good job with the MCU formula.
Right. I agree with that.
Jordan, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I really also enjoyed this movie. I was hoping it was going to be a fun movie, and it turned out to be a really fun movie. So to me, they got everything right. There was no character that I really didn't like, I would say. Um, I mean, they did an excellent job. One of the things I did say before is like the MCU, like if you're not all the way caught up, you could miss things. So, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, my wife, I leaned over to her. I was like, "Hey, do you know who U.S. Agent is?" Like, I was like, "Hey, do you know who this guy is?" She had no idea who he was because she didn't watch the TV shows. But they did a good job of just giving like a subtle background. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you was a failed Captain America. You was Captain America for like 15 minutes. And so that
Yeah,
was
they were
enough
coming
for
for
her
his
to,
head.
yeah,
Yeah. They
that
threw
was enough
daggers.
for her to catch up.
Yeah.
So like that was really good. I also leaned over to her and asked, did she know who Yelena was? Because
Mm-hmm.
again, like I don't think Yelena was in. Well, she was in Black Widow, right?
She
Yeah.
was in
She's
Black
like,
Widow and she was in Hawkeye.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we hadn't. So not we, but like she hadn't seen her since Black Widow, so she had no idea who she was until she kind of started seeing her fight. So
Yeah.
it's like then she was able to like piece things together. So that's why I'm always asking, like, do you think the MCU does a good job of like getting the normal people in
Mm-hmm.
on the Disney Plus shows? But even if you didn't see the show, they did a good job of catching you up. So I
Yeah.
really do appreciate that. I really
And
enjoyed this movie.
yeah, like I feel
Yeah.
like they referenced the movies way more than the shows, but uh well, I guess Allegra or Valentina, she was in Black Panther too, so
No, well, I will say, I mean, we'll get into it more, but I almost feel like either they wasted her character or we need more from her because we barely seen her throughout the MCU unless there's like a bunch of end credit scenes or TV show stuff. But I want to talk about it more later.
okay. So, uh the movie opens with Yelena. getting ready for a job. And
Mhm.
she's kind of, lamenting about how she's bored almost.
Yeah.
Or like she's just like, I'm not really feeling anything right now.
Yeah. She on cruise control.
She's definitely on autopilot, just
Yeah.
doing like, and we saw that whenever she was doing the job. Of course, she was hurting people, and she's
Yeah.
she's
He's
she's not
beating
really
the
feeling
dog
it.
out of it. Yeah, just beating their ass and just like, oh, well, I guess I got to do this. You know.
And then whenever she came across the doctor, that was hilarious when she was
Yeah.
like, she was, you know, hitting him with the standard movie lines that he was gonna say.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
oh, this could change the world. Oh, I don't understand. Like,
Yeah.
hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
that was well done. And then she just kind of rolled up on him, and he was like, "Stop or I'll shoot." He's like,
Yeah.
no, you won't."
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You would have
And
done
then,
it already.
and she said, like, "You shoot, I dodge. That's what happens. That's what
Yeah.
this is." And like,
Collateral
just
damage.
she's kind of talking him through it,
Yeah.
honestly. And that was hilarious. And
Yeah.
then we see that um Valentina is before Congress. Now, did y'all watch the movie Blockers?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Well, the Valentina's assistant, she was John Cena's daughter in the movie Blockers, and I was like,
Oh,
look at
okay.
you, look at you grown.
Yeah, I had no idea who she was.
Look at you being an adult. Yeah. So Valentina is before Congress, and the dude who was the Congress dude, I like him and stuff.
Yeah, I love
Yeah, I've
anything
seen
he's
him
in.
before.
I'm good with.
Yeah, like I was happy to see him.
Yeah.
So they're basically like, you're getting impeached as the director of the CIA,
Mm-hmm.
and she, starts monologuing, and
Yeah.
I reject this impeachment. As
Bro.
my goal has been to save the world, yes, I would love for you to investigate me. You will find absolutely nothing. I welcome the she was, she
Bro.
loves an audience.
The disrespect of turning your back to Congress just to look at the crowd and look at some cameras. I was like, you wilding.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But that's what this is.
Yeah, that's her. That's her 100%.
And there could be an argument made that her doing all of this spinning could be reminiscent of some things happening in life.
Yeah.
But
100%.
this movie had a lot of things to say.
Yeah.
Which is a little surprising because this was a transition movie, but I was under the impression like this is just a transition movie.
Mm.
Like that's the purpose of this movie is to transition us into like to set up a couple things, but to like lead us into what's gonna happen.
Right.
So, unfortunately, Congress doesn't find anything, and we see Yelena goes to visit Red Guardian, and he is very happy to see her, but he's not in great shape.
Yeah, he's going through a little moment.
Yeah.
They reminded me of Thor, Fat Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going through a moment.
He was having he was having a tough go of it.
Bro, the dishwashing soap to the teeth.
That was crazy.
Crazy.
Oh, that was crazy.
I was like, yeah, you wild.
Yeah, but that man was dirty.
Yeah, no facts.
So Yelena comes in and he's trying to, really have a relationship, but she's also kind of like, well, you haven't this whole time. And she's like, yeah, I've been working for Valentina and I really don't want to anymore. Like, I think I'm going to tell her I'm done.
Yeah.
And he's like, does she have any openings?
Yeah, he ain't trying to hear none of that. He trying to
hate
a job.
I hate my life and I want to get back in the game. I'm doing this fucking limo bullshit. She was like, yeah, but you said your life is so great. I lied. Look at me.
Yeah, look at me.
I'm miserable.
Now, is this the part where she kind of is like, why haven't you been around? Like, why haven't you kept in touch as far as like referencing to the main Black Widow? I know they talk about at the end.
I think a little bit of that comes up. Like,
Yeah,
I know
like
that they say like we haven't talked in a year.
Yeah. I
but
think that's right.
I don't know if we get into the full like breakdown of what that
Yeah.
looks like.
But I do like mentioning that, like, it gives you some context into their relationship, because I mean that's kind of crazy for your daughter to die and then not hit up the other daughter.
Yeah.
That's nasty work.
Because
So
basically she found out she died in Hawkeye, right? Like, because Hawkeye, she
and
was trying
Black,
to figure out like what happened.
Yeah, she thinks Hawkeye killed her, and that's
Yeah.
that's
why.
right.
Yeah, like
That's
that's why
right.
Yelena's hunting
Yep.
Clint.
I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Jeez, good call.
So yeah, so he's trying to get a referral.
Yep.
He's trying to
100%.
be like, "Hey, put me on,"
Yeah.
but that doesn't go well. And then there's like a gala,
Yeah.
for all of the people. Oh God, whenever Bucky was asked, like
Oh,
before the hearing,
so
whenever they
worried.
asked him, like I was like, that was it was hilarious.
Bro, he's like,
He
it's such a worrisome situation. I'm worried. But
Oh
I'll
yeah.
definitely get back to you about how
he
worried I am.
tried so
Yeah.
hard to speak like politicianese.
Bro, that was
Like it
so
was
good
so
writing, bro.
funny. It was like, yes,
Bro.
very, very problematic,
Yeah.
worrisome situation that we're
And
worried about, and we are working diligently to
Yeah.
like just. Oh,
Yeah.
so stupid
Just
and
words.
hilarious.
and I
Yeah.
know they
Just
call it out in the movie, but yeah, he's a terrible congressman.
y'all awful, bro.
Awful.
Whoever elected him. Come on,
Well,
man.
that's because he was a part of this. Like he had popularity on his side
I mean, he was an assassin.
That's
Now,
my thing.
great
Like,
guy.
bro, how you
once upon a
get
time.
elected?
Well, this is a world of superheroes, so there's that. But also, he was Captain America's best friend. Captain America would ride for him. Like we saw, they both beat Tony's ass. Like if Captain America ride for you, the OG Captain America rides for you, then
Bro.
America rides for you.
Bro, Steve would have, if Steve was around and Bucky was running for Congress, Steve would have been like, nah, bro. That's not
Yeah.
your lane. That's okay. It's not
That's
your
probably
lane.
why he did it, because Steve wasn't around to be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
not your gift."
Right.
I feel like he's just trying stuff out at this point.
Well,
I agree.
I don't think so. I think that he's actually trying to make a difference and make things better in a legal way. Like I think that he wants to make a positive difference, and he probably figures me being a congressperson is how I make a positive difference without, getting my metal arm dirty.
And I think it's a little bit of both. I think he's just trying shit, but he's like, all right, how can I help? Politics. All right, I'll be a congressman, or you know what I mean? But it doesn't feel like come on, man. The answer he gave lets me know he ain't doing he ain't read none of his
He's not in this.
He ain't read none of his briefings. He
Yeah.
ain't doing no extra legwork. If you really want to make a difference, you're reading your stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that he just needs to hire a handler, because they have people that prep you for these types of things, and he doesn't. I don't think he has a handler.
And we'll see how we'll talk about it, but the way he handles the stuff that was given to him was crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, he needs help. Like he needs somebody that speaks politician.
Yeah, he needs a chief of staff.
Yeah, that's what he needs. He needs a chief. He needs a chief of staff. That there it is right there.
Yeah.
In the last episode of Dragon Ball Z, we reviewed Daredevil,
Mm-hmm.
Born Again, and we see that Fisk's chief of staff speaks this language. She knows this world, and she is helping him understand how to navigate through it. Now, he's a different situation, but Bucky needs somebody that understands this world and can help him navigate it, because him being left to his own devices is not good.
No, not good at all, bro. It's like, I mean, it's a weird reference, but like sometimes when a really good basketball player is amazing, and then when he becomes a coach and he's trash, it's like skills don't translate all the time.
That's correct.
Just because you're a really good superhero does not mean, and you know how to help people that way, doesn't mean you know how to help people in this particular way. You know what I mean?
Yes, because honestly, a lot of the best coaches are the people who watched the great players.
Exactly, yeah.
Not the great players themselves.
Yeah, rarely is it yeah.
Because you're like, I don't want Kobe as a coach.
Hell no.
Absolutely not.
No, I don't know.
But like Derek Fisher,
yeah,
that could probably work.
Right, absolutely.
So yeah, that whole exchange hilarious. But yeah. Anyway, um, Yelena says to Valentina, like, hey, I think I want, like, Yelena kind of wants the same thing. Yelena wants to be more forward facing. She doesn't want to get her hands dirty anymore. She wants to do missions that are like, for the people.
Yeah.
And Valentina's like, I mean, okay, I got one more thing for you to do.
Hmm.
Just one more thing. Um, I think I was talking about the gala earlier, and that's where, of course, they're playing the game because they got to turn around, take pictures, and smile and all that. And the congressman Gary is like, yeah, we checked everything," and she was like, "You find anything?" It's like, "No, squeaky clean." Like, to the point where seems like
Yeah.
some stuff was intentionally hidden.
Right.
And Bucky finds Mel and knows that that's the way in.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "You're probably a good human. So here's my card if anything comes up."
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Valentina says to Yelena, like, "Hey, got one more job for you. I need you to take out this person." And sends her where she needs to be. And, she gets in there. And we see that this is now a fatal four-way.
Amen. Ding, ding, ding. Let's
We
go.
have Yelena, we have Ghost, we have JV Cap, and we have Taskmaster.
Stop disrespecting U.S. agent like that.
You're talking to me about respecting that man?
Hey, man, I have respect for that guy. We'll talk about it, but yeah.
Okay.
Who do you have more respect for, Captain Falcon or U.S. Agent?
U.S. agent.
That's
Wow.
crazy. That's absurd, Brandon.
What? I'm
Just
for
because he
real.
took the serum?
No, he's just. Hey, man, I'm gonna be honest. If I had to trust somebody in a tactical situation, I might trust U.S. agent. Now,
That's
is
crazy.
it gonna end up clean? Are we gonna end up with clean at the end of the day? I don't know. But Cap Falcon, man, come on, man.
I ain't gonna lie, that 1v1. John Marshall. What's his name? John Marshall? What's his name? John
Yeah,
something. Is it John Marshall?
it's not John Marshall, but I know you're talking about.
John, I think John got that dub. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, he beating the dog out of Captain Falcon. He beating the dog out of that man.
Yeah, I think so.
That's what I'm saying. And yeah, the super soldier serum, like that's a big part of it. And he's been humbled now to where
Or
what
John
I mean.
Walker.
John Walker, yeah, he's been humbled to the point to where, okay, now I'm not dealing with just a crazy person. He's, you know what I mean. He got some stuff taken away from him, But yeah,
All right. That's crazy. I will say we saw in Brave New World that having the serum makes a difference.
oh,
Big
absolutely,
difference.
yeah,
Bro, because when he wait. I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but when they were in that tunnel and he jumped in the air, I was like, yeah.
yeah.
I was like, bro, got some hops.
We got that vertical.
Yeah. So, they all start fighting, and one of the things that I said to Larry, because Larry, I think while he was watching the movie, he texted me and he said he was still mad about Taskmaster. And I said to him, I think that this movie handles this Taskmaster correctly.
Yeah, that was for the fans.
A hot one to the head.
That was for
A
the
hot
fans.
one between the eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, that was I'm sorry, fans.
Yeah.
Bro.
And honestly, again, I think that was the right way to handle that.
Bro, if you're Kevin Feige, you can't let it get this far. We wasted an entire character. Now we got to retcon it and blow his brains out. But,
Yep.
by the way, one of the most skilled fighters in the world
Yes.
just gets his head blown off. Like, that's how stupid this character was written.
And it wasn't a he.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I just as we've been talking, like I just watched the second trailer because I only watched one trailer. I just watched the second trailer, and Taskmaster was kind of in that trailer, kind of a lot. So
Yeah,
this is the old rope dope.
Yeah,
That's why I don't watch
definitely.
trailers.
Yeah,
And for Ghost to kill it, like, come on, man.
they did Ghost right in this movie though. Ghost is way better in this movie.
The lady who played Ghost, she looks like a black Emily Blunt to me.
Hmm. Okay.
But sidebar. Um, yeah, I whenever they shot that because it's a comic book movie, so I was like, is Taskmaster dead? Because there could be some shit we don't know about or
Yeah.
something. But she was dead.
No. Straight.
Yeah, I ain't
Like,
gonna lie. I thought she came back when Bucky was actually the one who was like blowing up the cars and stuff. I
Oh,
thought it
you
was
thought that was her?
I thought it was Taskmaster at first. I was like, wow, how did they get explained this one?
yeah.
And then I was like, oh, never mind, she dead. Shit.
She is like incinerator.
Yeah.
Like you're like no body. Like done. Because there's no way she escaped.
Oh yeah.
Again,
100.
she
No.
got a hot one to the head. There was one way out, and like the room exploded in that instant. Like you're done.
Yeah.
So yeah, I I laughed when she got hit. Um, because while I didn't hate Taskmaster in the MCU the way that others did, I was not a fan of it. It was very poorly executed, and it was a waste because we could have been getting, funny jokes and excellent choreography.
Like he would have fit perfectly in this new era. Like
Yeah,
been a perfect villain for U.S. agent to go against or Falcon. You know what I mean? Like it was just a
perfect villain for
waste.
Falcon.
Yeah.
Um,
Falcon would have got his ass whooped. But go ahead.
yeah, yes. Um, at least you should have.
Yeah.
But, while they are fighting, Yelena's kind of like, wait a minute. I'm supposed to kill you. You're supposed to kill him, and he's supposed to. What are we doing here? I
Yeah.
think this was a
Yeah.
setup. And then Bob shows up, and they're all aimed at Bob, and Bob's kind of like, "Oh, what the hell? I just woke up here. I don't know what's happening."
He played that character so well. Like
Yes, I agree.
just as regular, just Bob, because he
Yeah,
was just like, I don't remember anything. And then U.S. agent looks at the little thing, and he's like, what the? It's like somebody got out of here, and he's like, you know what I mean? So yeah, he played that so well.
yeah. Like there was a person in here, and
Yeah, exactly.
and whenever Mel and Valentina are in the car, Valentina is like, "Yeah, finish it," and
Right.
Mel is like, "Are you sure you wanted to? Like, they're people. Finish it. What?" And so that's when Mel starts to be like, "Okay, this woman is
She look
she
crazy.
she's
Yeah,
different,"
crazy. Yeah.
and we see that Alexei is the one driving,
Hmm.
and he gets there so late, but
Bro.
also he had to drive there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Bob is there confused, and then they, actually have a conversation, and they realize like, oh shit, um, this is trap. Like we're all the loose ends. We got to get out of here. And so they reluctantly partner up. They have a sound machine for Ghost. And one of the things that I will say, this movie made U.S. Agent really useful
Hmm.
because I was worried that like when I saw him and knew that like this was going to be the squad, I was worried that he was just going to be like 100% an idiot. And they like he was pretty skilled. Like I understand that he was Captain America for a time and all that, but like I was worried that based on how the fans look at him, they like the MCU was going to make him just kind of an idiot.
Gotcha.
And I'm glad that he was actually like he had tactics in mind. He had his military training that was being used. Like he was actually a useful part of the team
Yeah.
because they could have easily just not done that with him, and Yelena could have been the one doing all of the tactics and all that. But they made everybody actually useful,
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with
and
that.
I'm glad they gave him, some character development and all that. So, um, they work together. They find the sound machine that lets Ghost get out. She opens the door real late,
But there's like
Yeah.
4 seconds left. They're like, cook.
literally. And she was like, "Yeah, the elevator wasn't working, so I'll let y'all out."
You're right.
But they survive, and we see that Bob is holding Yelena's hand, which is why Yelena is taken to her darkest memory. And whenever Valentina is told, "Hey, everybody lived. P.S. Bob is alive," because we see Yelena pick up some papers on
Yeah.
her first mission, and I'm like, we're gonna see what that's about later. Um, yeah, we see that she's like, "Oh shit, it worked. I thought that everybody from that trial was dead, but it worked. We need him alive."
Hmm.
And so she's like, "Everybody, go, go."
Yeah.
But no casualties. It was so funny whenever she was like non-lethal, and he was like, "Non-lethal?"
Yeah. He was like
Bro, we made a
excited to
plan for
kill
this.
somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my man, he wanted that fully deadly,
He wanted to
no
use
hand.
deadly force, and that's how it got. Like, there are a lot of people who go into that line of work for that reason.
Exactly. Yeah, you ain't got to pull punches.
Yeah, they're like, no, that's why I'm here, is for
Right.
deadly force.
Hmm.
And she was like, no, change it to non-lethal.
Right.
And he didn't,
Right.
but
I mean, didn't even matter.
it didn't matter. They made a plan. The plan didn't work as well as they wanted it to. Um, but they were able to make some things happen. And Bob decides, like, because they're about to escape, and they're like, identify yourself. And John's like, I'll do all the talking.
Yeah.
And then whenever, identify yourself, soldier, and he was just like, no.
Bro, I was like, this is the worst. Like, you might as well
Yeah.
just take your helmet off.
I was like, well, there it is.
Yeah.
Always try to make up something like, hey, my name is
Yeah.
Jackson, whatever. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
bro, I didn't even.
I gotta run somewhere. You know what I mean? My man was just like, no. Like,
Yeah. Like, he could have, like, I mean, of course, he couldn't use his own name, but, like, you take a pretty regular last name, and your chances are pretty good.
I mean, he got a regular first name, so y'all black name is John Smith.
yeah.
Or,
Like,
yeah, like, you could have been like, yeah, I'm Jackson,
yeah.
and this person's hurt, yeah. Anyway, yeah, he was just like, I will, no. And luckily, some shit pops off because Bob decides to be a diversion. And again, whenever he was like, yeah, open fire, they just lit his ass
Bro,
up. Like, they
Bro.
were intending to put him the fuck down.
bro, they
Yeah.
lit him up. That was
Yeah.
unnecessary force.
Bro,
Yes.
way in this. It's just like, it's one man. He shot up in the air. Sure, you can shoot him, but God,
Because
Yeah.
let that been a regular person, that boy would
Yeah.
have been filled with holes.
bro.
Correct.
I will say, I do like the tie they kept making throughout the, like, when they're in the thing, and Bob is like, hey, I can help. Like,
Yeah.
I can
Oh, yeah,
help.
because he wants to help.
Yeah, he was like, hey, I can do more than you think I can. And they keep saying, shut up, Bob, just follow me. And then
Well,
when he has opportunity, he's like, all right, I'm gonna try and distract.
which, one thing I forgot to talk about, whenever they were in, I guess, an elevator shaft?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when we saw John's vertical. I said to David, because I saw this movie with David, I was like, I think they're going to have to Emperor's New Groove this thing.
That's what my wife
Mm.
said, too. My wife
And-
leaned over said that Emperor's New Groove.
I did not think of that. Yeah.
And then whenever they all were back to back walking up the wall, I was like, they did, in fact, Emperor's New Groove this thing.
Bro, that was
Yeah.
that whole scene was funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. But, because, yeah, like, whenever he said he had to sneeze, I was like, oh my God, that could happen. And that could throw this whole...
Bro,
Yeah.
you're dependent on everybody else. So
Yeah.
one thing off, yeah.
So yeah, that was another scene that would, like, that felt very like Suicide Squad-ish,
Yeah.
and it was well executed,
Hmm.
well done. And honestly, yeah, John made an executive decision, and
Thank
it ended
you.
up working out.
Cap wouldn't have made that decision. I mean, Captain Falcon wouldn't have made that type of decision.
I mean, he can also
Captain
fly.
Falcon, he got wings though.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
saying if he didn't have his wings, obviously. He wouldn't be in that
But-
position if he had his wings.
But, yeah, and that's when we see his situation, because he references something about having a family and all that before we see his interaction with the Void and his worst day. So,
My boy,
Um,
deadbeat. He a deadbeat. I just want to say, golly.
Truly.
But also, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, I mean, the kid is right there in the play basket. So I mean, what else should he have been doing? His wife was
Well,
like getting on him. I
You
was like,
can't call
well,
the man a deadbeat and then say he
no,
shouldn't
you're
have
right.
been.
You're right. You're right. You're right. But to be fair, I was like, I mean, the kid is right there, not doing anything. He was on the phone for like, I
They,
don't know,
they,
5 minutes.
I will say he was crying. He was crying out. We don't know why. They could have did a little better. Could have executed that a little better.
I was like, I mean, as a parent, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I would have been on my phone too and let the kid play in the basket. I'm like, ain't nothing else going on.
Yeah, but no, that was dope though. That whole scene really humanized him a lot.
Yeah.
yes. And I think it spoke to the fact that he's more of a dick than anything.
Yeah, like
Like I think that's what they were trying to highlight.
yeah,
Um, because he was more like what he was reading on his phone was about his disgraced situation
exactly.
and like the way that he was ignoring the baby and the way that he was talking to his wife. I think that
Mm,
we were supposed to be like, "Oh, you're a selfish piece of shit." Like that's
yeah,
what we were
Yeah.
supposed to take away from it.
exactly.
But also, yeah, most parents have 100% done that.
Exactly. 100%.
Like if the baby is contained
Yeah.
and got
He's safe.
stuff
Yeah.
and not making a lot of noise and yeah, like
Yeah. I'm
I
gonna
need
read. I'm gonna get
I
off
need
on
to
his
look
phone
at
real
this
quick.
real quick. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, they if the baby had been like crying or something, or if the baby had been hurt, like if something had happened to the baby,
Yeah.
then okay. But regardless, I think that they were trying to show us like, oh, he's a piece of shit and
Mm,
he's self-absorbed
right.
to
Yeah.
uh, a point where it's a problem.
Right.
So, um, we see that he gets riddled with bullets, but nothing happens, and he's like floating. And Valentina's like, "Hey, stop shooting," because she's worried that he's gonna catch one. Doesn't,
Mm,
and he flies straight into the air. And then he, I guess, passes out, and
yeah.
she's like, "Find out where he's going." And Mel is like, "I think he's just coming back down."
Yeah.
And luckily, his diversion worked because the Thunderbolts are able to get away. Ghost gets a truck, and him landing causes them to fall and all that.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of wandering in the desert. And whenever they see Red Guardian, Yelena's like, "Oh God," like
Bro,
truly embarrassed by a parent.
bro, as a dad of a daughter, I know that's gonna happen. I already know. If it hasn't happened already, I already know she's gonna be like, "Oh God, my dad's embarrassing me," type of situation. Because she even before he even did anything, she knew he was about to embarrass her.
Oh yeah,
100%.
like
Like he was about to.
he arrived and
Yeah,
she was like,
like
"Oh God."
like his
She saw that
thirst.
bucket ass car.
Yeah, the car, his thirst to be in a team. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, bro, thirsty. Like, it is crazy. That was really funny.
Agreed.
Like,
So yeah, Red Guardian picks them up, and that's when they are named the Thunderbolts because Yelena tells a story about their soccer team,
yeah.
which was referenced earlier. They had 0 wins, but they
See,
had fun.
that was a old school MCU name slide in there, right? We all know the name Thunderbolts. You slide that in there because you named her young, her team is Thunderbolts. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I feel like lately they've been, well, such and such. Well, their name is Daredevil. Like, it's something real like corny, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And where I feel like that was like a subtle, oh, okay, cool. Didn't even think about it. Kept it moving. And that's what you want. Where I feel like a couple times they've been doing stuff with names with introducing people, especially new characters. And it's like, man, I really like you couldn't have thought of anything better than that. But that was pretty subtle, which I appreciated.
I agree. So they get picked up, and then they find themselves being chased by some CIA, I guess.
Yeah.
Like we'll just call them CIA. And He's like, okay, speed up, and that doesn't work.
Bro, I was doing like 50.
Bro,
Yeah.
that was crazy. Then we got that bucket for real.
And then it was like, oh, the car's bulletproof. It's not.
None of his levers worked. The
Yeah,
little levers
like
he was clicking.
all of it trash.
Yeah.
And then Ghost tried to get out there and do something. They got the sound machine
Yeah.
and got her all fucked up. So really, U.S. agent's the only reason they made it out of that.
Bro, all dead if U.S. agent isn't dead.
Now, what is his stuff made out of? Do
I
we
want to say
know?
it's vibranium.
No,
I
there's no way it's vibranium because I don't think they had enough for him.
I assume it's. You remember when Iron Man made Cap a new shield that uh ended up getting broken by Thanos?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Probably whatever that shield was made of,
because I
because
was
that
like,
wasn't vibranium.
because like he was able to
So
stop them bullets, but he was taking like the recoil. It was hitting him a
yeah,
lot, but then later, we saw it get bent up.
yeah. So tungsten. If I was
I
gonna
gotta
guess,
I gotta rewatch my Falcon Winter Soldier, but I want to say that he got it somehow. Like he somehow snuck that in. I can't remember how though.
well,
I'm
I
see if
thought
I
it
can try to
was.
look it
I
up
thought
in
it
the
was
meantime.
given to him when he became Captain America.
Right. It was given to him, but I'm pretty. If he was given
But
to
like,
him, it had to be vibranium, right?
well, no, I think the U.S. government made him one, but they didn't have the vibranium.
Oh, got it.
So I again, like whenever Tony remade a shield, it wasn't vibranium. It was probably iron, but uh, that's why Thanos was able to, shatter it.
Mm.
At least I'm pretty sure it was Thanos who shattered that shield. But anyway, um, yeah, I I don't know, but yeah, definitely not vibranium
Mm.
because I think uh Falcon has the vibranium shield now.
Yeah,
But anyway, um, luckily for them, a mysterious person on a motorcycle shows up and starts handling everybody. Now, uh, Brandon, was it you that said you thought that was Taskmaster?
no, that was me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like, cause you couldn't see nothing. I was like, oh, somebody doing some
Yeah.
dope stuff right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody's taking care of this.
Yeah.
Um, I assumed it was Winter Soldier, but I wasn't sure because I knew that he was going to be a part of this.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure how, so I thought that okay, this might be how.
Mm.
Because I knew he wasn't going to stay in congressman mode. Like I knew that he was going to like start going
Yeah.
at some point.
One thing I forgot to mention, I completely forgot when you mentioned Bob. Remember when they originally announced Thunderbolts movie? Stephen Yin, the dude who voices Invincible.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Mhm.
supposed to be Sentry.
Century. Yeah.
I wonder what happened to him.
I think I want to say he backed out. But it worked out, I think, probably better.
Yeah, because the reason I brought that up, I was like, it would have been weird to see because I remember I think we mentioned it like it would have been weird to see an Asian Sentry.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just from the Century we know his name's like I don't know. It would have been a little weird. Like, and I feel like the actor's probably better suited for other stuff. Like there's other
Yeah,
because he's really good.
yeah.
So,
Like there are a lot of other places you could use him.
yeah.
I would have assumed that they were going to make him Sentry and reference Invincible in some form.
Mm.
Like that would have been the reason to do that. But like making him blonde, like that would have been weird.
That's what I'm saying. It would have been
Like-
odd.
Like it under the circumstances, it being a white dude was perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect. Yeah.
Like that's what you do in like I think they executed that well.
Yeah.
Oh, I just looked it up. So I guess he dropped out after the writer strike and all that.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
He dropped out after that because then Thunderbolts he was filming something else,
Gotcha.
so he just couldn't do both.
No, it
Okay.
worked out. They recast it perfectly.
Yeah, like that was the right move.
Yeah, that dude plays a really good. Like he's cool. He seems cool, but he also seems like something's off about this dude.
Yeah.
Where that's perfect for Century.
Yeah,
So-
my bad. Yeah,
I knew good. That's something that I didn't know. So,
Yeah,
but again, that was the right choice. Like,
yeah,
I don't think Steven Yeun would have made sense there.
right.
Um, so I thought it was Bucky, but like I wasn't 100% sure. But like that, I was like, this has got to be how he gets folded in
Mhm.
to the Thunderbolts team. So he murders those people. Like they're dead.
Yeah, he puts him in the dirt. That
And
was a fire scene.
it
Yeah,
was.
it was.
Let me say this. I think, because I said this to David in the movie, arguably, Bucky is given the best choreography in the MCU.
I agree with that.
I
Yeah.
think that he has the best choreography in it because whenever he gets to cook, it's so good every single time.
Yeah,
Like
he's
Yeah. They showed that in the trailer too that I just watched.
yeah. I'm glad I didn't watch the trailer because I agree. I think somebody else mentioned they saw this in the trailer.
yeah, like
But
even like when they fought Sentry, like even though he got dog walked, his choreography was so good.
yeah, it really was. And I
Like
mean, yeah, like this felt in like we talk about. Like I hate to keep referencing back, but like that felt like an old school, choreography. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like the stuff he was doing with the motorcycle, the tying them, then flipping the truck. I loved when he he shot the things to blow it up, and then he shot it at the car, and the U.S. agent was like, "Oh, like oh shit."
Yeah.
because
Like,
like when he shot it at the car, that was Winter Soldier face.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
I was like, for a minute, I knew that he wasn't, but for a minute, I was like, did they reprogram him? Because the face he made, I was like, that's Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not
yeah.
Bucky.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
he
they
had,
thought they thought everything was sweet until he
yeah,
turned on them.
yeah, he had his
Yeah.
motherfucking game face on.
Yeah, he's like, Bucky. Oh shit.
Yeah, when he turned on
Boom.
them, he was like, he's a friend from work. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that was so good.
Yeah. That was
When he
good.
hit him in there. But yeah. Um, so he captures all of them and basically is like, y'all are the only thing that's gonna get Valentina locked up. So
Yeah.
this is what we're doing. And he got that tip from Mel, because he spilled spaghetti sauce on himself. Ooh, excuse me. He spilled spaghetti
Damn.
sauce on himself. That
Bro,
snuck up on me.
somebody's ears just sounds like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It snuck up on. I wasn't ready. Um, yeah, he put his Winter Soldier arm in a dishwasher. It being dishwasher safe is really convenient.
Yeah. 100%.
But yeah. So he tells them like, "Hey, I'm going to use y'all to testify," and they start telling him what the situation is, and he's like, "Shut up. There's no way that's real." And
Yeah.
then he gets a call from Mel, and Mel confirms all of it.
They're like,
Mhm.
Bob.
Yeah, he's like, "Bob," and they're like, "Yes, Bob. That's what we've been telling you."
Like,
And
just keep
so
saying it. Jeez.
he's like, "All right, well," and she says, "Bring everybody, whoever you got." And
Yeah.
so he's like, "Well, this is what I got.
Yeah.
So I guess this is what we're doing."
Yeah.
And so he lets everybody loose and says, "Hey, we're gonna go handle this right now." And we see that Valentina has bought the Avengers Tower, and
I
that was
wonder
another
how much she
thing,
paid for that. That's crazy.
something
Yeah.
stupid. But we see like that's one of the questions that I'm sure we've had this entire time
Oh,
is
bro.
that shit just still in like what's going on with it?
Yeah.
There's
100%.
no way that it's just sitting there not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I'm about to look up how much does a building in New York City cost. I just need a reference.
yeah,
Especially
'cause
Avengers Tower. That's
it's
upgraded. You
yeah,
know what I
it's got
mean?
all the Tony Stark shit in it. It's
Yeah.
very, very tall. Yeah, like that's something that you have to be in the billionaire club to have.
Absolutely. That's
So
that dirty money.
yeah, like some people died for this to happen.
Exactly. Some blood was spilled.
So it's being called the Watchtower. I was like, okay, Justice League, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I know, I
Um,
got that. I know, I thought the same thing.
so there we see that Mel is kind of being like, "Hey, you're a terrible person," and she's like, "Do I look concerned enough? Like, are these motherly pearls that I'm wearing?
Yeah, don't
Like,
give a damn at all.
are
Yeah,
these motherly earrings that I have on? Like, do I seem like I care?" And
So I just a reference. So it says Nesmith puts just the Empire State Building cost of $2 billion. Now, isn't Avengers Tower bigger than the Empire State Building? Because it's the biggest building in New York from what we see in the movies.
probably. So not only
Bro,
it's bigger, it's more advanced, and if we're in 2028, that's inflation.
100%.
bro, she got money. That's
Uh,
all. That's all I want to acknowledge. I don't
and
know
it's
where she got it
dirty money.
from.
It's
Yeah,
dirty. We
Yeah,
know
it's
it's dirty.
that's a lot. That's a lot though.
yeah,
Because we in Black Panther 2, we saw that she's willing to do some dirty things for
Oh yeah.
America.
So wait, do you guys feel like I feel like she came out of nowhere and she was kind of gone? Like we kept seeing her in little scenes, but like this the biggest thing we've seen her in. I don't feel like it was a waste of her character, but at the same time, I do feel like it was a waste of her character because like we've been seeing her throughout all these movies, build up to something, and then I don't know. I feel like she got underutilized a little bit. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it still.
I think that this was, again, I feel like this was a transition movie. This was a setup movie. So I would be surprised if we're done seeing her, because if this Thunderbolts team is going to be a part of the future, she is their overseer, even though, you know, it's in name only.
yeah,
Yeah,
So
I guess that's a good point. Yeah, we will have to see her again.
yeah.
yeah, like she's still going to be wheeling and dealing in the background.
She's too big of a comic book character, and just as an actress, she's gonna be. I think
Yeah.
she's gonna be the new, not Nick Fury, but like a sort of Nick Fury type.
Yeah,
Well, like an Amanda Waller, like
Yeah,
somebody that you know is, well, not necessarily, because
I feel like
she's
she's gonna be Norman Osborn when he took over the Dark Avengers. Like
okay.
she's
Because I
gonna
was
be the
gonna say
face of everything.
I would like. I was gonna say she'd be Amanda Waller, but I don't think that's true because Amanda Waller actually does have the best interest of the country in mind, whereas Allegra's a little more selfish than that.
hmm
And Norman Osborn is a good, because yeah, she wants the credit, like a Lex Luthor. She wants the credit for being the one who
yeah,
did it, who got it done.
yeah.
Like she was very Lex Luthor in this movie.
She was. She was calling the press to come watch.
Yeah, because
You know what I
that's
mean?
that's something Lex Luthor does. Like Lex Luthor loves a captive media where he can spin the story and make it seem like he is the hero who saved the day. He created, alternate versions of Superman. So yeah, so like this was very Lex Luthor, now that I'm
Yeah,
thinking about it. So um she buys the watchtower and she goes in there and tries to convince Bob that the Thunderbolts are terrible people and that, he is going to be the hero of the day. And he's like, "Yeah, cool. I can control it. We can get it done." And we see, him make a glass of water explode and, all that. And so the Thunderbolts show up and start just hurting people. And Valentina's like, "God damn it, I left the door unlocked.
right.
Come
Just
on
come
upstairs."
on up.
Yeah, come on
Yeah,
up. Which, again, hilarious.
yeah,
Like, that fit the movie to me.
yeah.
Because
Unexpected, but yeah, it fit.
you're like, everybody stopped fighting.
Yeah, yeah,
And they just got on the elevator.
yeah,
I do like the fact that they did a small homage to What If, because we know there's a What If story where Winter Soldier and Alexei are together in a
Oh,
car.
that's right. Yeah,
And so we see them together in a car.
yeah,
So I was like, okay, all right,
yeah.
bringing that back. Okay. So, um, the Thunderbolts get upstairs and they, I mean, it was similar to when Loki went upstairs and Tony was just chill.
Yeah,
Tony was just like, I have an army. We have a Hulk.
yeah,
What? Like, Tony said, "You want a drink?"
Yeah.
I'm making drinks. So yeah, that and Valentina mentions like, you know how many historic things have happened in this very room?
Right.
And so I don't know if that was intended to be a callback or an homage, but it felt like it.
I think so. I think so. Especially that room.
Yeah, and I liked it. But yeah, she was basically like, yeah, y'all are, yeah, Bucky's like, hey, turn yourself in, everything will be fine. She's like, I don't think I will.
Yeah.
I think that my new guy is gonna beat y'all's ass. And then Bob comes down and they're like, oh, you're blonde now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
This suit looked
And
great.
it
Yeah,
did.
it really did.
It was
Yeah.
very comic book accurate.
It really
Um,
was.
and so he's like, guys, you should probably give up and turn yourselves in because you're criminals. And, you know, they all start attacking Bob, and Yelena's like, no, don't do that, because she may still think that Bob, I don't know if she thinks that Bob is helpless, or she doesn't want Bob to get hurt, obviously.
Yeah.
But Bob beats their ass.
He ain't
Bro.
trying to hear none of that.
Like, it's
Like,
not good.
what was it, like 4-5v1? Just beating the brakes off of it.
Everybody. Like, they had no chance. There was nothing they could do.
Took Winter Soldier's arm, just took it off,
Slap
tossed to
him
the
with it.
side.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
I
Bro,
was
that reminded me
wondering.
of that Toy Story scene
Yeah.
when Buzz got his little arm took off and slapped him with it.
Yeah.
I did wonder if they were going to let him break that arm,
Mm,
because since that arm is from Wakanda, like that's
yeah.
like that arm is serious. And so I
Mm,
wondered, are they going to demonstrate Sentry's power by having him actually affect Bucky's arm, like
yeah.
his Wakanda arm?
And I mean, he kind of burned it, like when he like caught it.
Yeah.
He kind of burned it. So I mean, I guess that kind of was an homage to that, like you're talking about. Like,
Why Bucky don't got that one power like Black Panther and Falcon, where if they take damage, it does like that big pulse.
Oh, that's exclusive. That's premium.
yeah,
I don't think he got premium package.
So you know, so Captain Falcon he can get it, but Bucky can't.
I think there's a
Yep.
clear reason why
That's crazy, bro.
they gave it to one and not the other.
That's
They
crazy.
said, this is exclusive, brother. Yeah.
And
But Bucky spent time with them, bro. He can't get the treatment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, we don't know if Bucky may not have asked for it, like, because honestly, Bucky's probably not getting hit in that arm. Like, it's a matter of receiving kinetic energy and then redistributing it. But
but he punching people.
yeah, and he blocks shit with the arm.
Yeah.
But
That's what
yeah,
I'm saying,
It'd be
bro.
nice if he did have it.
Like, yeah,
But
I thought he was
honestly,
gonna have it.
I'm glad he doesn't, because I'm okay with that staying in certain places. Like, I honestly don't like the fact that Captain Falcon has it.
Well, I mean, he
Same.
ain't got nothing else.
Yeah.
I feel like every enhancement they can give, they gave Captain Falcon. Every
Because he needs
little,
it. He needs help.
Yeah,
Right.
he needs
Bucky's
help out
still a super soldier.
yeah, that's why I don't really fuck with him. But yeah, he was beating the brakes out of all of them.
All of them. Like, and
Right.
this is different tiers. Like,
Yeah,
they weren't gonna, like, we had what, 4 super soldiers and Ghost, and like, yeah, that's it. Sorry,
yeah.
y'all
U.S.
got
agents.
y'all got the 1940s super soldier serum. Y'all ain't got this
Yeah.
new shit.
This new stuff, bro. He folded his shield like a taco, like you said.
bro.
Yeah, he
He
did.
literally folded that thing. That's what I was like,
Yeah.
bro. That got him made out of paper because that
Yeah.
golly, he did that with ease.
Again, it wasn't. We know it wasn't vibranium, but we don't know what it was. But
Yeah,
tungsten is my guess. Who knows? There may be some other metal that exists in this universe that
Oh,
I don't know
well.
about.
Adamantium.
Oh, it's
He's
not
out there.
adamantium.
Yeah.
Adamantium wasn't out there yet, and I
No,
don't.
it is out there.
No, I'm saying when this
When he
shield
got
was
that.
made.
When he got that shield.
Yeah, I wonder if they would have let him bend adamantium, because again, it's one of those situations where like they needed to demonstrate his power, but we know adamantium as being unbreakable. That doesn't mean it's unbendable, because we've seen Magneto bend it, but
right.
um. I wonder if it had been made of adamantium, how that would have gone.
Yeah,
But they probably if he got a new shield, it would have been made out of adamantium because this movie happens after Falcon
After,
and
yeah,
the new Captain America movie, since that
yeah,
movie's referenced. So yeah, whenever I bet now that they are quote unquote the Avengers, his current shield got some adamantium in it.
yeah. He's gonna get a new one too. Yeah,
Yeah, like if they replace that shield, it's got to have adamantium.
yeah.
And now that he's not Captain America, I kind of wonder what they're gonna go with for him. Um, are y'all familiar with what U.S. Agent has in the comic books? Like once he is U.S. Agent, like does he have a round shield like Captain America does, or
No,
does he
no
have something
idea.
else?
I want to say it's round. I want to say it's round. It's pretty accurate to what he has now. And like continues to keep the round.
Yeah, I have no
Uh,
idea. I
right.
never read him in any comic.
Okay, because I feel like in my head, yeah, like he literally just looks like Captain America in semi-different clothes.
Yeah, it's like a darker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
But
he's
black,
got
more
some black
black.
in there, but like
Yeah,
yeah.
it in my head, it is a round shield, but I don't know if I'm thinking of the right thing or
But I
if
mean,
I'm
also Cap was U.S. agent after for a little bit.
yeah. When he came back alive, but yeah,
so
uh,
okay, so then yeah, it is probably around. So then yeah, but yeah, I bet his like 14 months later shield got some adamantium in it. It should. I
yeah,
could see Wakanda being like, hell no, he can't get
Yeah,
vibranium.
yeah.
But
Thanks.
anyway, they get dog walked and they decide we're gonna have to leave. And Valentina is like, hey, go ahead and finish them off. And he's like, why am I taking orders from you?
Yeah,
That was one of the real like that was the point where I was like, all right, this is good shit.
yeah, yeah,
For
yeah.
him to realize, like, why am I taking orders from you? I'm a god.
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
And like you said that.
yeah. The realization there of like you said that I could beat the Avengers. They have a god. Why? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like you said I'm better than all of the Avengers, and they have at least one god on their team. And she was like, fuck.
yeah,
yeah.
That
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. That's logical.
Yeah, and that was again, that was the moment I was like, this is good shit.
Yeah,
Because that's you know how I am. I will be like, that makes no sense. Why are we
yeah,
doing that? This is a moment where I was like, yeah,
yeah.
that's right. That makes perfect
Now,
sense.
now I do want to ask: did it feel my only true critique? It kind of felt rushed between Bob figuring out how to break a cup and
Yes.
Bob being just
Being Sentry
mollywopping
now.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that happened way too quick.
okay,
But he kept saying, "I can control it." Like I think
yeah,
he may have already had some kind of a handle on it. But I agree, there was not enough time between him knowing nothing and mastering the power.
I feel like
if
he was learning as he was fighting too, because in the beginning you see him not really doing nothing, and then as he's fighting them, he's starting to like learn stuff because he starts flying, gets real fast, see ghosts, like quickly captures ghosts. So I feel like it started to come natural for him as he
He
was
was
fighting.
adapting in real time.
Yeah,
I
That's
felt
probably true. But I
it
still
felt
agree. Like I
yeah,
think
it felt rushed, but it also felt like there was probably a scene in there that kind of explained it a little better, or at least we got a visual of the training a little more, but they just got cut maybe or something like that. But
yeah, like I think if we had seen him in the gym a little longer,
yeah,
like it would have made a little more sense.
right,
Um, but yeah, for him, yeah, again, like Brandon said, to go from blowing up a cup to he is full Sentry.
yeah, it just felt like we're first putting it in the oven and then boom, all right, like it was just like all right, damn. But it was so minimal that I was just like, all right, move on. Like it's not that big of a deal. But
Yeah.
bro, bro, who was that? Was that Red Guardian or was that Winter Soldier? Where he put him out the window,
oh, Red Guardian.
yeah, held him out there for a sec, like, hey, I could drive
I ain't
through
gonna lie.
the
I thought he was
I thought he was going to drop him.
Yeah, I
And
thought
that's
he
the
was
thing.
gonna drop him.
Since this is a Suicide Squad movie, I was like, we already lost Taskmaster, so
yeah,
who knows what casualties we see.
yeah,
So yeah, I was prepared for him to get dropped.
yeah. I thought he was cooked. And then he brought him back. I was like, oh damn, that's flexing on a different level.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I too was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, is Yelena gonna go get him?
Yeah. Right.
Because if he did drop him, like somebody's gonna have to jump out the window and save him. And if it had been Red Guardian, Yelena would have been
I
like,
mean, they
no.
top of
And
Avengers Tower. That's a big drop.
That
yes,
is.
like it was barely enough time for Iron Man to get his suit on.
Facts. Yeah. He barely got it in
Yeah,
time.
barely.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's quite a fall. And
Right.
so yeah, like I was expecting him to get dropped, Yelena to be like, no, jump out the window, catch him, grappling hook,
Yeah.
uh, fly back into a different
Batman
floor through the
style.
glass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, when he brought him back in, I was like, yeah, oh, he's just showing off.
Yeah. Exactly. He's just testing his skills. But no. When Sentry starts to question it,
But yeah, because he
and
says to Valentina, like, they are zero threat to me.
yeah.
So why do I need to kill him? She's
Right.
like, because I told you to. And he's like, oh?
He's like, oh, that's how you want this to work.
I didn't even want to be blonde.
Right.
But because yeah, at first he's like, it's weird that we're like you're calling all the shots. We should be like partners. Like I should have some say in some of the stuff that happens. He goes from there to be like, I'm a god.
Yeah.
Like you said that. And so I'm not taking orders from you. I can squash you like a bug right now.
Yeah. She pulled out that button.
Yeah. And yeah, she ain't no Amanda Waller because Amanda Waller has no fear in her heart.
Yeah. He wouldn't have got a sentence as soon as he said, "I'm a god." Boom. Like,
Yeah, I don't know why she didn't press it like faster.
yeah.
But also, again, they were kind of demonstrating how quick he is.
Yeah.
But Mel comes in clutch, hits the button, and he like what happened in his eyes. I was like, ooh,
Yeah. That looked rough.
yeah. Like I was like, that is a kill switch.
Yeah.
And then we see the Thunderbolts, they are on the ground and they kind of just part ways. And we see Yelena and Red Guardian actually have the conversation where Yelena talks about how depressed and lonely she is. And so this, what was kind of happening during the pandemic?
Mm-hmm.
That manifested here. Like
Yeah.
that was the scene where I was like, okay, the pandemic affected this movie.
Yeah.
And so she's kind of going through how lonely she is and how she will, do a job and then drink and like how awful things are and how she resents Red Guardian for not reaching out after, everything that happened. And he's kind of like, I thought you didn't want me and I'm not good at this dad shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's really not even like in my bag. But they have a touching moment where he kind of tells her everything is going to be okay. And he was like, pretty good, right? Like, yeah. And so then we see the Void. Now, I'm going to say I'm shocked at how well executed that was.
I agree.
Yeah,
in my
same.
opinion. Like,
Same.
I was very impressed. Whoever was also shout out to whoever's on sound design.
That
Yeah, whenever people would get sent to the shadow realm, it got me. I was like, oh god,
Yeah.
like it was so well done.
What's also crazy is like I was talking to so on my podcast we interviewed or I've talked not interview had a conversation with Fuzzy from Fuzzy on the Details, and I told him like I didn't think we was gonna see Void at all in this movie. I thought it was gonna be maybe like an end credit thing, seeing a Void because I didn't know who the bad guy was gonna be, and he was like I wouldn't think about that until I just watched the second trailer just now. I was like, oh, I see why he said that, dude. The Void, I did not think he was gonna have the biggest part as he did in this movie. Dude, he was sending people out left and right. Oh my, and he looked so good.
So
It
good.
was
But
really good.
that was one of the best visually presenting villains, honestly, ever. Like low key, like to have it all black, like not even like an all black suit. No, like literally A
Oh,
void.
Just pure darkness.
And then the details of the eyes is what got me. I was like, oh, that's really good.
Because I feel like the void in the comic book has teeth, and
I think you're right.
I
Yeah.
wondered if they were gonna do that.
Yeah, which I'm glad they did.
Yeah, like I'm glad that it was still him.
Yeah.
Like it was just a silhouette.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so well done.
Yeah.
And yeah, the sound it made whenever people got sent to the Shadow Realm, the visual, like all of it was so I was impressed. And I think a part of it was expectations. Like I didn't expect much.
Yeah.
And it was just really good.
It was. Bro, the scene with the girl, with
the little girl.
Oh man,
That was too much. That was too much.
That was rough. I ain't gonna lie, that was rough.
So
that was asshole move by the director. Like
no, but I loved it.
Yeah, it was
literally
smart. It
saved
was well
her.
done.
I loved it. So yeah, we see him send a couple randoms to the Shadow Realm, which causes some destruction because he's sending people in helicopters, and that's because the dude who was ready to pull the trigger, like he gets sent to the Shadow Realm, and again, helicopters start causing damage. The new Avengers, the Thunderbolts, they start helping people, making sure that people, aren't killed as much as they can. And yeah, he saves that little girl. There's a touching moment where like the city sees them save people, and they're like, "Oh, hey," they do some applause, and then he saves that little girl, and then because that was a touching moment, especially as a parent.
Yes.
I was like, "Oh my God, he saved that little girl," and then just I was like,
"Oh God." My whole theater, everybody in the theater was like, "Oh."
Yeah, same. Yeah. Like I don't know if everybody in the theater did, but I reacted.
Yeah, I thought he was killing people too. Like I thought they was done with. I didn't think the Shadow Realm was gonna be there. I thought they was done.
Yeah.
I also thought that those people were just gone forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that it's a PG-13 movie, so maybe that's why they weren't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was prepared for that little girl to never come back.
Same. I thought she was cooked.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's the kind of time we're okay.
Yeah.
I was here for it. But so whenever we see that there's just a darkness that is now consuming, because whenever those people were targeted,
right?
But now there's just a darkness consuming everything. Like that episode of the Powerpuff Girls, whenever the clown took all the color away. It's just literally taking the color away. And so they save some people, and then we see Yelena see the Shadow Realm, and at first I was like, "Oh, she's given up." She's like, "This is what I've been waiting for."
Yeah,
here it is.
Exit ramp. Yeah,
yeah, like this. I've been waiting for you.
Yeah,
that's what I thought this was.
I thought Red Guardian was gonna save her,
and maybe that's what it was. Same. Like she may have been like, "Up, now's my time."
Yeah, I thought I didn't think Red Guardian was gonna make it out of this movie. To be honest, and I thought this was the moment.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Again, whenever he got thrown out the window, I was like, "Oh, well."
Yeah.
But that, and also because Yelena had been going through we often see super people have to experience an absurd amount of loss.
Yeah.
And so for Yelena to lose the one person that she's still connected to after losing Taskmaster, who she was kind of connected to. Yeah. I was prepared for Red Guardian to go. But again, since it's a Suicide Squad movie, I was like, anybody can get it. We'll see who makes it out the movie.
Right.
So, Yelena goes into the Shadow Realm, and we see her living through her worst day a couple times.
Bro, that was dirty. Bro, you set the girl up to get popped? That's tough.
That's the Widow Room, the red room.
Yeah.
And then we see, they have to reload a gun, I guess.
Yeah.
And she wins. Everybody else gets a whooping.
Bro.
Yeah, bro. I was like, damn.
God, dog.
Yeah, I was like, that and that's why whenever earlier in the movie, Yelena's like, let's not play who suffered most.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like
Let's not do that.
you don't want to play that game with me.
Yeah. From a
'Cause,
child, from my childhood, I was, yeah.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, like, John Walker's life was pretty good up to a point, but yeah, like Ghost and Yelena, they've been through some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, Yelena was like, you don't want to play that game with me. So that was also a funny moment. But um yeah, we see that she's making her way to Bob because we see that she has to confront herself.
Yeah. I think she, is it to confront herself when she was going through that vision?
Yes. So yeah, like
Yeah.
she sees herself drunk, passed out on the bathroom floor.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, like she uh goes up to herself and then herself, forces the bottle. Yeah. So she has to confront herself.
Yeah, that was good.
And then we see her find Bob.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob is just upstairs and he's like, "Oh, don't worry. It'll get quieter eventually." So he's living through his own worst day.
I like that because from at least it seems comic accurate because it always felt like when the Void takes over, Sentry, Bob Reynolds, whoever, like they're just along for the ride. They're not necessarily the reason the Void is doing anything. They're just kind of waiting it out until the Void is finished, basically.
Yeah, and no memory of anything that happened, like just completely like Bob does not have he's not in the chair with the light on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or he doesn't have the flashlight or whatever happened in the movie Split.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, luckily, John Walker also touched Sentry and went into the Shadow Realm for a minute. So he is able to say, like, well, I don't think they're dead because whenever I touched him earlier, like, it took me to a place that I'm not able to explain.
Right.
So him having that experience, because I think Winter Soldier was the one who was like, she's dead.
Yeah. He thought for sure.
Because Alexei was like, we have to go in there after her. And Winter Soldier's like, hell no.
Yeah. It's like, what if we just walk into our death? Yeah.
Yeah. What if she's dead? Look at that.
I would have did the same thing.
Same. And Brandon, you're a hero.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. You know me, I'll ride for the heroes. But if I just see a ascending darkness,
that is literally sending people to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's death. I'm not gonna take the chance and assume we're getting sent to a different realm. Yeah. We're still alive. No.
No, I agree. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Because no. Like, especially after what happened to that little girl? Nope.
Yeah. And I'm assuming we all know how stupid superhero movies are. If I get out of the greater New York area, I'm fine. Like, his darkness stopped as soon as he got to the end of the island.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you're not crossing the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, we lost New York.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, when that happened, I was like, dang, do fish get affected by this? That literally crossed my mind.
What?
Like when you see like all the shadows just like take over New York and it's kind of touching the water a little bit. I was like,
bro,
hey, what happened to the fish? No, that's a good question.
You can't say silly shit like that because now I'm thinking, what is this? What is the fish visualizing when they go?
That's what I'm saying, bro. Dogs, animals, and that's the thing. All that. I assume that the answer is probably the answer could be no, just because they're not sentient. And I think there's
dogs and animals.
Again, I think because they're not sentient, this like wouldn't affect them in that same way.
I don't know, man.
But also,
do some crazy stuff.
Again, like it's really just a worst day of your life situation.
Bro.
So yeah, like if a fish has to like watch a shark eat its family, that's where it's going.
By the time he got caught in a fishing line and they threw it back or something.
Yeah, like that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah, that definitely would. He's like, bro, I'm done with this. Hook is in my mouth. I'm done with it. And you get threw back into the water.
Yeah, bro. You just got to relive that over and over. Yeah, bro.
And again, because they're animals, they don't know that they can get out or like what.
Right.
To, yeah. So yeah,
that literally crossed my mind as like the shadow took over the city and like touched the water. I was like, damn, what about the fish?
Right.
But yeah, and I will say, I think it's like as long as it took Yelena to get out, the other Thunderbolts, got there pretty quick. But
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I
and
thought the same thing. I was like, yo, they found her real fast. They did
yeah, and I was like,
they PTSD pretty good.
yeah, like
Yeah.
they found their demons immediately. Okay,
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
I figure Ghost was in there for a while.
Right.
Uh, because she had trauma, and then like similar to Black Widow, she had like a childhood full of trauma and then an adulthood full of killing people.
I
Mm-hmm.
thought Bucky was gonna be there forever because that boy lived through some stuff
And
too.
it's
Bro.
like I don't even know how his memory like does he remember his Winter Soldier shit? Like does he remember
Oh, because they
He
always wipe his
has to.
brain. They always wipe
yeah.
him. So yeah, he might not.
So I wonder how much of that because he knows he did this stuff, but he wasn't
Maybe
he wasn't there for it.
he knows Tony's dad, so maybe he lives, through
Well, that's
Tony's
on
dad
video.
killing. Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know.
Because I would
But
imagine he has to watch himself get reprogrammed over and over.
Yeah. That's probably the worst part. Probably he got to watch himself being read the codes or whatever.
Yeah. Who knows? But
yeah,
yeah, like
I thought they found him pretty fast too.
they were able to get out of their own traumas pretty quickly. Like she had like 3 episodes before she found Bob. Everybody else just had one, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she's able to find him and she, talks him through what's going on. And then everybody else shows up. And we eventually see they come face to face with the day that Bob went through the procedure.
Mm.
And he sent the 2 doctors to the Shadow Realm. So yeah, the Void is here.
Mm-hmm.
And he sees the Void and, the Void just kind of starts doing the why are we doing any of this? Like what do we just give up? Just give
Mm-hmm.
in. And we see that the Void kind of subdues everybody and then Bob is like, "I'm stronger than you." And the Void is like, "Oh, come on.
Yeah.
What you got?" And Bob starts putting his hands on him, which is what the Void wants. And we see that the darkness is starting to consume him.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to Avatar: The Last Airbender, whenever Aang and the Fire Lord, like Aang was about to get corrupted by the Fire Lord's evil, and then
Yeah.
eventually Aang is able to, show that he is the one. And we see that Red Guardian helps Yelena get out so that she can get to him
Mm-hmm.
and help him through because she knows like this is exactly what the Void wants. You're about to be corrupted, and yeah, like he's about to take you in. And so the Thunderbolts use the power of friendship to win the day. Now, whenever I was told that Sentry was going to be the villain in this movie, I said immediately they are going to use the power of friendship to win the day because there's no way they defeat the Sentry.
I literally
100%.
had no idea how they was going to defeat him.
The power of friendship, like that's what I said was going to happen. However, this was, in my opinion, a very well utilized power of friendship because this movie is about friendship.
Yeah.
And so the power of friendship winning the day actually narratively makes sense.
Yeah.
Like that's how they should have won the day because this was a movie about friendship. This was a movie that was speaking to the woes that come from loneliness and how detrimental and dangerous that can be, and how actually the power of friendship is enough to let people keep going.
Yeah.
So, like, this was actually a movie about friendship. And
Yeah.
so the fact that friendship is what wins the day is perfect here
Yeah. Yeah.
because normally, like in Captain Falcon, no.
No.
If
No.
anything, they should have used Betty. Using Betty would have made more sense. But for him to just be like, this isn't you.
Bro, Red Hulk would have ate him for lunch. Like
Eaten
literally.
him alive.
Yes.
But, that
Yeah.
was a poor utilization of the power of friendship. This, in my opinion, was a perfect utilization of the power of friendship because it made sense. And that's what the movie was about.
Yeah.
And so the
100%.
power of friendship actually wins the day for a good reason. And so they are able to save Bob from being corrupted by the void, and everybody comes out of the Shadow Realm. I do wonder the two dudes who were in the or I don't know if it was two, but the dudes who were in the helicopter, what happened to them?
Oh, they woke up on fire.
I wonder if he has
they
a choice of like, if Sentry can be like, all right, you can go through, you can go back, you can go back. You know what I mean?
I don't know, because my thought, I wonder if everybody, well, no, because the little girl, she got saved. So yeah, like everybody kind of just reappeared where their shadow was.
Yeah. That thing crashed.
You know, said he
Yeah.
woke up on fire.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right.
So yeah, those we may never see them again.
Yeah,
I think that may just need to be unaddressed.
yeah, agreed.
But yeah. So Bob is like, or U.S. agent is like, good job, Bob. That was crazy shit. And he's like, what are we talking about? What
Yeah.
happened? I'm a little fuzzy on the details.
Yeah.
There you go. Look at that.
So Valentina's like, hey, I need an extraction. And Winter Soldier's like, well, really, Alexi's like, oh, I've been looking for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna beat you. Yeah.
Alexi's like, I'm a killer right now. And so they're both like, hey, come here.
Yeah.
I just want to talk to you. And so she goes on the other side of the curtain to the media. And she, again, full Lex Luthor, takes all the credit,
Yep.
dubs them the new Avengers, says,
That
look
was
what
dope.
I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it was very well done. And Yelena was like, this is bullshit, but we gonna let you have it. But
Right.
understand, you answer to us now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you belong to us. Understand that. Because we could blow, like, we could blow your whole shit up.
Right. Facts.
So, we then see some credits and Red Guardian finally on the Wheaties box because he mentions that earlier in the movie.
Yep.
And yeah, like he was really trying to get
That was
recognized.
That was so good, man. He's
That
like,
was really good.
I need some Wheaties. Like that was good.
And then the after credit scene is the one that really mattered.
Yeah.
And again, I thought this was a transition movie. I thought this was a setup movie, and that's what this felt like. So this was another way that, like, oh, this is classic MCU. We might be back.
I think so.
Yeah, like we see this is 14 months later. They are like in full Avengers mode. And whenever Bucky says that he talked to Captain Falcon and he's like, he trademarked the name Avengers, like, what are we, like, he's not happy about us calling ourselves the Avengers. Like, I was like, I want to see that conversation.
Yeah. Same.
But, they're monitoring activity in space and they see a ship with a 4 on it. And we know what the next movie is.
Absolutely.
So, we gonna see what happens.
People in my theater went crazy.
Yeah, people in my theater,
Yeah, nobody really. I heard people talking about it, but nobody really acknowledged it.
Yeah, I don't think I had a great theater because, like, again, when that little girl, whenever she got, like, I feel like I was the only one I heard react, and I didn't like that.
Bro, it was a black dude behind me, bro. Everything I reacted to, he was on it.
Yeah, like that's what I wanted. I want an active theater.
Bro, he saw the 4. He's like, let's go. He started clapping. I was like, hey, man, I feel like I'm in 2016, 2018.
Yeah.
Like,
Again, this took us back to the good old days, honestly.
Yeah, facts.
Like, it has been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I appreciate with this new Avengers setup is they're establishing the fact that there's not only one Avengers team, because in the comics we know, like, there's the West Coast Avengers, the Mighty
Oh, I hate that
Avengers, the
shit.
New Avengers. There's all different offsets of the Avengers, and so now we're starting to get them. So I
Yep.
wonder, will they open it up to, like, will
Oh, I'm sure that we'll have different people saying we're the Avengers. No, we're the Avengers. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be a funny conversation.
Yeah.
But, Brandon, first, let's do scale of 1 to 10.
Man, I've been wrestling with this. I say no. In my head, I started with no lower than an 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
No lower. Absolutely not. But I'm gonna give it a strong 8.5. Strong 8.5. Just because the writing was really good. The logic was there. The only critique is Century was a little his development was a little fast. That's a pretty good movie
That's
to me.
solid. Yeah.
Yeah, like the execution of the Void was great. The using the Void to tell the backstory was amazing. I got 8.5 for me.
Okay. Jordan.
Yeah, I think I texted you guys immediately after I got out. I said an 8. And even after talk about it, like I still feel like it's an 8. I did want to see a little bit more Century. I want to see a little bit more action in it. But I mean, that's a strong 8. Like I really enjoyed that movie. So yeah, 8.
Okay. I think I I think I also go 8. I thought it was really good. Um, and I thought it was really good, but I think that's especially because I didn't know what to expect from it. Like I wasn't going in thinking like because all the commercials are like this is the best movie since Endgame and all the shit that they say about everything. And I was like I really wonder what this is going to be. Like I went in kind of like I don't have any expectations. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that helped it do well.
Yeah.
But because if you go in assuming a movie's going to be good and it's anything less than that, like you're going to have a problem with it. Um, but if you go into a movie thinking it's going to be bad and it's not terrible, then you're like, that was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went in, I tried to go in with nothing. And I feel like this was super solid. So there are a couple of things that we do in all of these episodes, but before we do those things, I want to go ahead and have a discussion about the cast because Brandon brought up something earlier and we got to talk about it. So, first, let's talk about Yelena. An argument could be made that she is the main character of this movie. Is she the best Black Widow that we've seen?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm still Team Natasha.
That's just nostalgia, brother. That's all that is.
Probably is. I'm still Team Natasha though.
Nah.
I
I feel
have
like
loved. Oh, good.
no, I just feel like Yelena has given us better. She was probably the best part of Hawkeye, probably the best part of Black Widow. She's leading her own team, which the other Natasha didn't do. Yeah, I just think she's funny. She has way more gravitas, way more aura than Natasha ever had. Or Natasha's great, don't get me wrong, but let's be honest. Like Yelena, from the moment she showed up, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, I rock with her."
But who looked better?
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is why.
Well, I mean, that factors in.
So, first of all, no, it doesn't. But Florence Pugh ain't nothing to
yeah,
scoff at.
yeah,
She,
this is
I mean,
wild.
she ain't no Scarlett Johansson. I mean, we got 3 Black Widows, so you ranking, you know,
Three.
almost. Yeah, man, you forgot about the Red Hulk. I mean, the Red Hulk girl, the little short girl.
Oh yeah, I did forget about her.
Oh, yeah.
See, yeah, y'all don't consider her a Black Widow, huh?
She is a
No.
black. She whatever.
Hell no.
She's a black. She went to the Red Room. She got her uterus taken out or whatever. So she qualifies. We also have Rachel Weisz.
The
Who
Taskmaster.
no, that was the mom. So in Black Widow, the one who was I guess married to Alexei,
Oh, gotcha.
the one that was
Also,
she was in the Mummy.
did Taskmaster count as a Black Widow?
No. I
No, because
mean,
I don't think Taskmaster went through the Red Room. I didn't
yeah.
think.
I don't think so either. But I also don't know.
I don't remember.
If
Yeah.
Taskmaster counts, that's how stupid the whole thing is.
I feel like Taskmaster doesn't count. I feel like Taskmaster was killed and then reprogrammed later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Basically, we got 3 main Black Widows of
yes. But
2.5.
I have loved Yelena since the moment I saw her.
Mm-hmm.
She was my favorite, like from Jump, and that has not changed.
Thank you.
Like she's a clear number one. Like
Well, you're not even close, really. If you
it's
think about
really
it.
not close.
If you think about it, like they're putting the new Avengers on her back. Natasha didn't get no kind of.
Now Natasha
Was
was up. She was a sidekick in like she was up with heavy hitters,
yeah, she
and
was
we're kind of in a situation
Yeah,
where
bro. Yeah, look at the team she was on.
yeah,
hey,
like
man.
that's. I mean,
You're not handing a. Think about it. They took that long to hand her a movie.
I'm just saying, bro. She was on the 92 Dream Team and
like
freaking
that's some other yeah, like there were. I think there were some other things involved there,
yeah,
but
man.
yeah, she was. I mean, essentially, she was kind of like a Chris Bosh. Like LeBron and Wade are why we're here, but Chris Bosh, he's got talent.
Yeah, that's what
He's,
I'm saying.
you
Like
know,
she was on
he's a part of the squad,
the
but like,
2004 Olympic team. Like, bro, don't I remember them?
but yeah, like
Bro,
it was
yeah,
she
Elena.
was up with heavy hitters, and so I won't hold that against her, but still,
Think about it, bro. Yelena is James Harden when he first got to the Rockets. Like, it is. It's not a lot of talent out here. Like,
no,
let's
that's
just be.
exactly
Let's be
Exactly.
honest.
That's why she the
that's
leader
the
of this
point.
team.
That's the
But
point. Like the reason that like the argument being made here is that they were they were not in equal situations. Like if Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow was alive, then she would obviously be in charge because of the squad that she's with. But she played her role with the squad she was with because you would have had a problem if they would have sidelined anyone for her.
True.
So she did what she was supposed to. Like she and Clint are over here like on the bench, and that's fine. Whenever we need bench points, we gonna bring them in.
But my thing is
They'll get us some
like
nice bench points.
Yelena. It'd be different if Yelena was put as the leader and wasn't performing, or was given the opportunity and wasn't performing. Every time they put her in the game and they give her the ball, she
No,
performs.
and again,
Hawkeye
I agree.
cooks.
She's excellent. Like
Yes.
I love her every time I see her. I'm trying to make sure that we don't disrespect Scarlett's Black Widow.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
However,
Yeah,
there's a clear winner.
yeah. There's a clear winner here.
Like again, like there's no for me it's no contest. There's a gap between the two of them.
Yeah.
Now, we have also, just talked about casting in general. And in the last episode of Dragon Ball Z, we were talking about like perfect castings. Do we feel like anybody in this movie is worthy of the same level of oh my god that was perfect casting that the Punisher gave us with Charlie Cox, John Bernthal, and or Vincent D'Onofrio? Like, it was anybody in this movie in that same conversation, or are we in a different
I
tier?
think
Or
I think these are all people we've seen before. Like the only person we hadn't seen before was Sentry. Um, and I
the
felt like
same
he was a really
applies
good
to,
Sentry.
I mean, the same applies to Daredevil. We've seen all these people
Yeah.
before.
I think John Walker is, to me, the guy that they kind of hit it out the park with, as far as like, obviously we know like Yelena, but I feel like with John Walker, I feel like they hit it out the park with this like kind of spoiled, lifelong soldier. It's kind of one off of certain factors who aren't necessarily the best attributes. And I feel like I know this is Kurt Russell's son, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's even talked about like how acting for him has been so easy, not so easy, but nepotism has played a beneficial part for him, and he's addressed it. And I think he's played a soldier who's kind of given something that he didn't necessarily earn, and he benefited off of it. I feel like he's played that perfectly. Like he knows what that is, literally. So like I feel like he's done a great job with that character. So I think John Walker, from even honestly, low key, he's one of the best parts of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If you go back and watch it,
Yeah, he is.
like his acting, Like
Like
the
I hate him, and
yes,
that means he did a really good job.
did a really good job, bro. And for him to fully turn his story arc to now where it's like, damn, you're a dick, but I can relate to, you know, you're not the most attentive husband because and father because you're dealing with some career stuff. Your wife and child leave you, so now you're dealing with that. You don't even tell your squad about it. They don't even know you're going through that. You know what I mean? So I think he was a really, really good casting that I think is gonna continue to benefit MCU down the line.
Okay. I I mean, just again, as far as people we've seen in this movie, um, I I don't. It's hard to say, but I feel like Sebastian Stan is a perfect Winter Soldier,
Agreed. Yeah.
and that's been the case for a long time. I don't know if like if you said to me you have to recast somebody in Daredevil or Winter Soldier, I think I might still pick Winter Soldier to be recast because the three of them in Daredevil are perfect.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Yelena also perfect. Alexei perfect.
Yeah.
Like I think Ghost is the only one I didn't really have feelings about.
Bro, Ghost, let's talk about it. That's
Okay.
wasted minutes. That's wasted minutes, bro. Come on, man. That could have been for somebody else of
we had
use,
we had to get a diversity pick in the squad.
bro.
I can't believe y'all didn't
Man,
like Ghost.
I
bro,
didn't
she
have a
was.
problem with Ghost,
What
but
did Ghost do?
as far as everybody else in the movie, she didn't contribute as much because we didn't even get a void moment for her.
Yeah,
And that's probably for the best. I didn't need it.
exactly, bro. Think
Like
if they would have. Come
I'm
on, man,
okay with I I don't think she got too many minutes. I think she was useful. I think that her being there made sense. But yeah, like I got as much of her as I needed. I didn't need any more than I got.
bro. I'm throw this out there. Think if we got the opposite. Think if Taskmaster would have popped Ghost, right?
Hmm.
And then we have Task, even if it's the female version of Taskmaster, that's fine. If she stays with this new Avengers, and then if she would have got hit with the Sentry and we got to see her backstory of being tortured and all that stuff, that would have been great. You know what I mean? And then you still got somebody who's action packed and can give you a lot of cool stuff throughout the movie. Ghost was trash. You could have gave those minutes to Taskmaster.
I don't know if I don't know if this version of Taskmaster would have been received well, period. Like I think that popping her was the right decision because it was already too late. It was done. We needed to get rid of that, I
I don't.
think.
I like I said, I agree with you. I don't like this version, but if the goal is to keep it, at least if the goal is just to keep Ghost, just to keep her, I feel like you might as well just take a chance, just go all in on the Taskmaster thing. You already
Uh,
messed it up.
Again, Ghost made sense because she was the only one with like a different power. Because Taskmaster is just another super soldier. So again, she brought diversity in more ways than one to the squad. And I think that they want us to forget Black Widow more than they want us to forget Ant-Man 2.
Maybe
But
so, maybe so. But I just thought Ghost was useless for the most part.
I thought she had her place. And again, I thought that she was given an appropriate number of minutes. Like I saw
Mm.
as much of her as I needed to see. Jordan, what did you think about Ghost?
I mean, I didn't mind her. She served her role, in my opinion.
I just feel like the best interactions in the group, she was not a part of. Like, and that's when like all of them are sitting around talking. Ghost was not a part of any of the conversation.
I'm not mad about it. Like again, I don't have hard feelings, but I don't think she was useless. And for the sake of the movie, I'm glad she was there. But yeah, she was the diversity hire, and that was clear to me.
Yeah.
Um, and then we have Valentina.
Yeah, he's good.
Jordan, you say you feel like she was.
Yeah, I mean, as much as they've been building up to her for a while, I mean, I thought we are going to see more, but I mean, there's still a chance we see more of her.
I mean, she was in the movie a lot.
She was in the movie a lot. But she kind of had to be.
Yeah,
Like, if she wasn't, then it wouldn't have made a lot of sense. But yeah, she's the villain in the movie, in my opinion.
yeah, I agree. Yeah,
But
she's the main heel.
yeah, like she's the one who sets everything in motion.
Yeah,
So, like, if it weren't for her, yeah, like we don't have any of this.
yeah.
So that brings me to we have a standing MCU film ranking, each of us individually.
All right,
And
let's
this
go.
is film number 36 of the MCU movies. So, Jordan, where in your list does Thunderbolts land, and what is above it and below it on your
Yeah,
list?
so I got Thunderbolts sitting at number 15, right below Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and right above Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay. I have it at 14 between Spider-Man Homecoming at 13 and Iron Man 1 at 15.
Okay.
Brandon.
I have it at 14 as well. I have it right before it is Ragnarok, and right behind it I have Ant-Man and then Black Panther 2.
Okay. So we all put it around the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whenever, like, we have 36 movies total. So this is clearly in the top half for all of us. It's not doing bad.
Doing very well. I kind of struggled with Ragnarok, Guardians 3-ish. I was like, in my head, I was like, is it better than Guardians 3?
That's
No.
I had to ask that same question,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
think so.
not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not. So that's kind of bumped it back. You know my love for First Avenger. And then is it better than Ragnarok?
Yeah.
No.
No. But I have it back to back, so I mean it's not like crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, like I have Ragnarok. Ragnarok's in my top 10. So
Gotcha. Okay.
Ragnarok wasn't the question. Like my question really was Guardians 3 and then Spider-Man Homecoming. And
yeah.
I decided for me it was not better than either of those. But then we came to Iron Man 1. And that's where I was like, oh, but to me,
I say
like,
no.
And most people do.
Yeah.
I would put this over Iron Man 1.
I eat it.
Barely. Like it's tight. Like it's not like glaring by any means. Like I had to think about it, but to me, that's where it lands.
All right, last comparison. Okay, so we do think this is better than Black Panther 2, right?
You must not remember how I feel
No,
about
yeah,
Panther
it
2.
is like top 5, right? Something like that for you, Spencer?
It's 6.
Yeah.
That is yeah, I respect it. I respect it.
I don't think it's better, but it's right on my list. Is right behind it.
Okay, I think it's better, but it's only like 2 spots above. But I can honestly, I have to think. I need to rewatch Black Panther 2 to be honest.
I need to do a full rewatch.
Yeah, same. Because some of these, I'm like, why do I have that quite high? You know.
Yeah,
So,
there's some of these I'm like, how did this get here?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I got to be honest. I had to move Deadpool and Wolverine back quite a bit.
Okay.
I just don't think it's gonna.
I might also like. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't think it's gonna age as well as some of the other movies. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, at some point I'll do a full rewatch, but that's hard.
No, it is. Yeah, I probably won't get all 36. To be honest, I'll probably watch top 15, top 20.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like there will be more by the time I'm able to, but there are too many shows.
Yeah.
So,
well, final thing, Rotten Tomatoes.
Ah, yes.
So yeah, we like to play a little game here where Brandon and Spencer try to guess what they think the Rotten Tomato score is. You know, who can get closest to the bucket without going over. The last winner was looked like there was a tie actually.
Ooh.
So Brandon, we'll let you go. What do you think the critic score is?
Um, I'll be honest. I kind of cheated here because I've it's been plastered everywhere. So I think it's like 89 or 88 or something like that.
Give me one number.
Oh, 88.
Spencer, what do you think?
I was gonna assume somewhere in that same boat, so I'll say 89.
All right, well, closest to the bucket without going over is Brandon. Brandon, it is an 88. Um, currently sitting with 259 reviews.
Yeah, and I cheated again. Like I feel like I didn't look for it, but it was
But it was
literally
ads all over the
it was
place.
as it was just hitting Thunderbolts just doing so well. Boom, Thunderbolts is the best. Boom, boom, Thunderbolts. I was just like, damn. Like,
Yeah, they do. Yeah, there are a lot of time. Yeah, like opening weekend and maybe the weekend after, they'll like post because I feel like for Sinners, I was seeing a bunch of Rotten Tomatoes.
yeah. Trying to get people
Uh,
out to watch it.
Brandon, so you won that round. What do you think the audience score is?
Audience, I'm gonna go. Um, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 91.
Spencer, what do you think?
Uh, uh, I don't know. 92.
With the closest to the bucket with over 5,000 reviews, Thunderbolts is currently sitting at a 94%. So
Hey,
Spencer gets that dub, and we end in a tie.
okay.
That's pretty good for a superhero movie.
That's really high. Yeah, that's really good.
But again, I thought it was well executed.
Same.
Like whoever the director was, they can. I trust them.
Yeah, facts.
But yeah, I I mean, I assume if you're listening to this, then you saw the movie. But if you haven't, it's worth your time.
100%. 100%. I'll definitely watch it again. Like it's some MCU movies, the Marvels, for example, I will not touch again unless required. Uh, but this movie I'll watch again for sure.
Yeah, the Marvels. I wanted to like it more,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't even remember the villain's name.
Yeah, that was during the time where it was just like, all right, y'all just picking up some new random dude. All right.
But
Yeah.
Well, well, um, hopefully everyone tells us what they think about the movie, and we've told you all the places to find us at. And so, with that being said, we'll never duplicate it.
Always appreciate it.
and forever melanated.